As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. By the way, bro, when this book came out, I was around negative 94 years old. Meaning that this book has stood the test of time with no gimmicks and no like trendy stuff, because usually when a book is like that gimmicky, it doesn't really make it past 100 years. But this book was written like literally in 1904, which is absolutely insane if you ask me. On top of that, this is the godfather of all self-help books, meaning that every single book you've read so far on self-help has some type of correlation with this one, because this one was the first of its kind. On top of that, I had no idea this book existed until I saw an interview with Gucci Mane. On top of that, if you want to read this book for free and you don't want to spend the money, I have a link down below for Audible. Use that link. Get 2 free books, including this one, and I recommend you also get the 80-20 rule. It's a great book, a great book, a great book. Okay, now if you guys don't know me, my name is Simon Bryson. I'm an accountant and I upload videos on YouTube every single day. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notified. On top of that, do me a favor, smash the like button. And before I tell you guys exactly my thoughts on this book, my 3 main ideas I found in this book, I just want to say one thing. Tell me, what's a quick summary of the book so I can decide if I want to read it or not. In reality, As a Man Thinketh is a book about your mind and how to use it as a tool and not as a handicap. For example, you might say, Tommy, my mind is my biggest tool. It is not a handicap, okay? It keeps me in line. But in reality, guys, sometimes, usually, most people out there, they have ideas about doing something and then instantly they have a thought saying like, hey, that's not possible. You can't do it. You're not smart enough. And that's happened to me and a lot of people in the past also. But in reality, this book teaches you how to use your mind as a tool and to empower yourself. So for example, when you have an idea that's like incredible and you might say like, hey, I'm not smart. No. Instead of saying that, you'll say like, hey, how can I do this? And what do I need to do to accomplish this idea or this goal or whatever it is? Okay, so it's a book that empowers you and teaches you exactly how to use your mind as a power and not a handicap. Okay, that's what the entire book is basically about. Now, let's get into the top 3 things I learned in this book and the top 3 takeaways that I took away. Now, again, if you want this book for free and you want to read it, by the way, it took me like an hour to read this entire book, like through audio. So it might take you like 30 minutes to actually read it like in a physical form. And I have a link down below for Audible. Just use that and you get the book for free. Okay, now let's get into it. Now, the first thing I learned in this book is basically whatever you want, whatever you need, okay, like whatever you want to accomplish in life, you have to understand what it's going to take to actually get there. Okay, now that entire concept is called sacrifice. So for example, if you want to achieve great things, you have to make large and big sacrifices. If you want to accomplish like, you know, huge enormous things, like become like the president, or you know, like have $1 billion, and you have to make huge sacrifices also. Now that might mean longer days at work. That might mean that you just might want like, hey, I just want like a better life with my family, you know, a better job. That might just mean that you have to like, you know, like get a better job and just like, you know, spend more time with your family. That just might be that simple. But in reality, if you want to accomplish like huge, enormous things, that might mean 16-hour days, hard work, working on the weekends, not really having that much time. You know, it might mean a bunch of things. So in reality, you have to ask yourself, am I willing to do this or am I not willing to do it? You know? So, for example, when it comes to me, tell me, what do you think about yourself? Okay, like, what do you want to accomplish and what are you willing to do to get there? In reality, when it comes to sacrifice on me, I have this painting back here that says, you know, suffer now and don't quit and live the rest of your life as a champion, okay? I love this quote by Muhammad Ali. And it basically tells me, you know, if I want to accomplish what I want to accomplish, is like really big, you know, like become a billionaire and, you know, have a great family, help my family, help the world, you know, I have to make sacrifices every single day. And that's fine for me because that's what I want to do. Now, that also means that I also spend time with my family every single day. I have fun and I do everything I want to do and I keep it balanced. Now, this means that it might take me longer than it would if I didn't do all those other things. I just focus on my work 16 hours a day. I don't want to do that at all, okay? So I just rather go slower, but still get there, but still spend time with the people I actually care about. So the entire concept here, guys, is what do you want to accomplish and what is it going to take for you to actually get there? Comment down below and answer this, okay? What do you want and what is it going to take for you to actually get there? Comment that and answer it. It's going to help you a ton, trust me. When you think about this stuff, it kind of gets your mind rolling and it helps you a ton. Now, the second thing I learned in this book, guys, was basically you attract what you are, not what you want, okay? Now, here's a story for you guys, okay? I remember when I was growing up, I wanted to accomplish so many things, and I just wanted it so bad. If you ask me, Tommy, what do you want most in the world? I could tell you what I wanted, and I could tell you with conviction that that's what I wanted. Now, that does not mean that I was the person that I needed to be to accomplish those things. So for example, right now, I believe I'm becoming that person to accomplish those things, but back then, I was not that person. If you guys don't know me, okay, a few months ago, I had man tits. I was not that successful. I was in a bad space, and I was very fat and unhealthy. Now, a few months later, I said, you know what? Same concept. Number one, I made sacrifices, and I said, you know what? I'm going to be able to have what I want to do because it takes this to actually get that. For example, I want to be healthy, I'm going to go to the gym. I want to be successful, I want to work every single day, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so now, when I think about, you know, who do I have to become, which is number two, you know, you attract what you are, not what you want. You know, you have to ask yourself, you know, who do I have to become to achieve what I want to achieve? Now, I get the whole concept of, you know, just be yourself and all this fancy stuff, but when you really think about it, and this is just me, okay? When you really think about it, you're not really yourself ever. Like, what you really are is a conviction of all the experiences you actually had in your life. So, for example, a few years ago, I was just the person that I grew up in my environment, to be honest. You know, I really wasn't myself, you know? Is there even a self? I don't know, it's like getting like crazy here, but in reality, there's not really like, you know, just be yourself thing. It's not really, like, I don't get it, you know? So, for example, for me, all I want to do is every single day add value to myself, and that way I will attract the things I actually want by becoming the person that I want to be. So the only way to attract what you want is to become the person that is actually deserving of those things. For example, if you want a lot of success, you have to become that person that can actually attract that to your life. I'm not talking about like the law of attraction. I'm talking more about the aspect of like, hey, if you want a promotion at work, you want to, and you have to become that person that goes to work and works harder than everyone and is also willing to do the things that other people are not willing to do at work. Like, for example, like stay above and beyond, like stay 10 hours to the 8, okay? So it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of strength and mental power. So in this book, it teaches you exactly that, hey, you know, if you want what you want, you have to become the person that actually deserves those things. And that's the entire concept I got from this entire little quote in this one book, okay? On top of that, number 3, you can't help anyone. And this is like a hard pill to swallow, honestly, because you always want to help someone. You probably will, like, you know, like read this entire like review here, read the book and be like, hey, I want to teach you something. And that person might say yes, or they might say no. Now, I'm not telling you don't go out there and help anyone, but in the book, he really talks about like, hey, you can't help anyone until they're ready to be helped. And what does this mean? You know, it means that, you know, if you would have grabbed me, okay, if you would have grabbed me and told me, Tommy, you're going to be this Tommy when you're 22 years old, I'd be like, all right, shut the heck up, you know, I don't really care about that. You know, if he told me, hey, Tommy, you have to do this to become this, I don't really care, you know, like, you can't really help me because I just know what I'm doing. I want to buy sneakers, I want to do this, don't really tell me about anything, I don't really care about it. So the entire concept is this: if that person you're trying to help is not ready to be helped, you can't help them. I'm sorry. On top of that, the second like part to this entire concept is that the person that you want to help has to help themselves. So, for example, if you want to, for example, you know, my friend, his name is William, he used to take me to the gym all the time. But back then, I wasn't ready to go to the gym. So, when he used to call me, he was like, hey, bro, I don't really want to go. I'm sorry. And then eventually, I started going every single day, and that's great. But I only got to that point once I actually wanted to help myself, okay? You can inspire someone, but you can't force them to actually take action. You can't force them to actually help themselves. That's something they have to do on their own. So when it comes down to it, guys, it's impossible to help someone that doesn't want to be helped. That's why parents have a hard time helping someone that doesn't want to be helped. That's why friends have a hard time trying to help a friend that doesn't want to be helped. So you have to kind of ask yourself, is this person ready or they're not ready? If they're not, you move on. And if they are, you help them. That's great, okay? But if they're not ready to be helped, then you just kind of gotta, like, you know, move on and let them figure things out until they are ready. Now, that's basically it, guys. Those are my 3 main concepts that I got from this book. But in reality, I have a lot more that I couldn't share in this one video. But in reality, guys, comment down below and let me know which one is your favorite and why. Which one do you think is more important? Is it sacrifice? Is it helping people? Or is it becoming the person you have to become to get what you want? Which one do you think is most important? Comment down below, let me know. And if you ask me, Tommy, what are your final thoughts on this book? Is it as much as they say it is? You know, it's the first one of its kind. Well, yeah, it's a great book, man. And when it comes down to it, it's basically a book about planting seeds in your mind. So if you plant the correct seeds, you'll get what you want. If you plant the wrong seeds, you'll get what you don't really want, but kind of like what you asked for. Okay, so if you plant negative thoughts, you get negative things. If you plant positive things, you get positive things. Okay, it's not like, oh, you get positive and then negative comes out of that. No, you get negative. No, it's kind of like you get exactly what you planted. That's the entire concept of this book, and I like it. So in reality, do I recommend the book? Yes, I do. On top of that, guys, if you want to read this book because it sounds interesting, take the link down below for Audible. You get the 2 free books, and that way, by the way, it's a trial. You don't have to pay anything. It's free. On top of that, guys, as always, if you enjoy this video, like the video. Really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notified. And if you want to talk to me one-on-one, uno, just DM me on Instagram at Tommy Bryson. And before I go, if you want to watch more videos, for example, all my book reviews that I've done so far, you want to check that out, click this playlist right here. And on top of that, subscribe to the channel right here. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and peace. By the way, this video took around 48 minutes to record. So if it's short, you might think it didn't take a lot of work, but it takes a lot of work to make these videos. 48 minutes for 10 minutes, 7 minutes of a video, it's a lot of work. Are you willing to do it? Ask yourself.